Welcome to the Jaren Jarvis channel. I am Jaren Jarvis. Today, I would like to introduce to you, I killed the monster hiding behind my door. When I was a child, about 7, my siblings and I would stay at my granny's house every couple of weeks during the summer. Because I was the oldest, I got a room by myself and my siblings had to share the other guest bedroom. I enjoyed staying at the house. My grandparents took us fishing and camping, we watched movies and slept in during the day. They indulged in our appetites for sweets and treats. The problem was, when night fell, I was afraid. I would walk into my room, lay down, still in my clothes, and hide beneath my covers because I knew that after everyone was tucked in for the night, my door would slowly close shut until the latch clicked, and a monster would be standing in the shadow behind the door. The monster had been there for as long as I could remember, in all the years I had stayed in this room, during warm summer nights. It was humanoid, but aged beyond earthly years with bloodshot eyes and elongated limbs. It would stand in the shadow long after everyone fell asleep, then the monster would scratch at the walls and door, circle my bed, and bite my feet if I tried to run. After getting bit a couple of times, I always pretended to be asleep, but I'm sure my quick-paced breathing and overwhelming fear alerted the monster to my awareness. Sometimes it would merely take my hand and run it over its odd body parts, sometimes covered with a strange hair, sometimes smooth, sometimes folded, sometimes sticky and wet. Sometimes it would get in the bed with me and scratch its sharpened nails in and on my body. I would cry out in pain, but it would growl a deep, angered, gurgled noise and I would become silent. It always whispered inside my head to stay silent or it would kill me. I believed it. Along with its sulfur scent and leathery skin, it would force me to endure tales of the other doors it has darkened the shadows of long before my existence. It spoke of the children it had slaughtered because they tried to fight or run or tell, and it spoke of the ones it left alive because they followed its rules. Rule 1, stay silent. Silence now and during the day would keep me alive. Rule 2, no fighting back. If I tried to fight, it would surely kill me immediately. Rule 3, leave the door open until it shut it. This isn't my room, but its room. Rule 4, stay under the covers until it leaves. Coming out of the covers without permission would invite other monsters to leave the shadows and attack me as well. I followed these rules always, never questioning or disobeying. After what seemed like an eternity, it would leave. I'm not sure where it left to, but when I peeked out of the covers, it was gone and I could finally sleep. For 3 more summers, I endured the joy of the day fishing with my pop-pop and watching old movies with my granny and the horror of nightfall. At 10 years old, I decided enough was enough. When I was helping my granny wash the dinner dishes, I slipped a knife in the waistband of my shorts and covered it with my shirt. I was ready for the monster. I kept the steak knife close to my body until it was time for bed. I was terrified, but I was tired of my mind and body hurting night and day and I just wanted to sleep in peace. When everyone fell asleep, I hid the knife under my pillow. Call it instinct, but I knew tonight it would join me in the bed instead of standing next to me and forcing my hand on its body. After ages of pretending to sleep, with my heart beating in my ears and blood coursing through my veins, I heard the door creak shut. I heard it silently padding across the floor and felt the bed dip as it crawled in next to me. At first, I was so afraid, I could not move. It was heavily breathing in my ear as it dragged its fingers across the soft parts of my body, digging its nails into my flesh and piercing me. Fear turned to rage, a rage I never felt before or since. It nearly blinded me with its intensity and I shoved the knife into its eye. It roared so loud, it deafened me, but I continued, fueled by my rage. I shoved the knife in its throat and pulled and stabbed and lost control, screaming. At this point, I didn't know where I was stabbing, but I didn't stop until the hands of my family were wrapped around me, pulling me off the monster. I passed out from the drop in adrenaline and woke up in an ambulance. I didn't get any answers until later, but this is what my brothers told me. After I passed out, my granny called 911 for the monster and myself. My brothers were picked up by my parents and they went to the hospital. The monster had died on the way to the hospital because the knife I had wielded made its way to the monster's throat veins and it bled out. Later, I was not held accountable for the psychotic break I endured that led to the death of my grandfather. Hospital examinations and therapy sessions declared me sane, with the help of medication of course, and I was able to go home. If your child is afraid of the dark, under their bed, of their closets, and especially of the shadow behind their door, take a moment and look. Sometimes monsters are real.